What's up? What's up? What's up? It is Monday, August 10th, 2026. And we got another episode of Turf and Pigs. What's going on, my dude? How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, Surf. Good to see you.
Good to see you as always, man. Good to see you as always. Yeah, man, we got a packed show, right? The week before the big dance, right? The big preseason game. And it's very interesting. We're going to get the Arizona Cardinals for a few reasons. We're going to obviously have to talk about those things. But, yeah, man, what's going on with you? How's everything going?
Yeah, I mean, things are going all right. I have been battling a bit of a sickness or an illness over the past week, so my energy's been up and down, but right now I'm doing all right. So for that reason, I do have a drink on deck.
That's what I'm talking about. Looks like a good one, too, man. Looks like
a good signature.
Turf is taking it easy on the drinks this day and age right now. I'm trying to get myself in fighting shape, if you will. But, you know, Turf, I'm always have an old-fashioned at some point real quick. But, yeah, man, you know, I'll get started myself here because first and foremost, I have to congratulate the newest All-American in the family, Treydan Stukes. That young man did it. I don't know what to tell y'all, man. We couldn't be more proud. They came in 7th overall in the nation in the 4x400 meter dash. He came in 14th overall in the nation in the 100 meter hurdles, and he came in 17th overall in the 200 meter hurdles. And last but not least, his first year running the 400, he came in 50th. So shout out to Trey. He is officially an All-American. Kudos to this kid, man. I mean, there are people that train their whole lives, right, as a kid all the way through high school and don't even sniff, you know, making the Junior Olympics, especially coming out of Texas, right? Texas, California, Florida. It's extremely hard. And not only did he do it his first year, but absolutely blew it out the water his second year, making all 4 of his events. Again, that's something that a lot of guys don't do. And then last but not least, getting a medal and becoming an All-American. So kudos to my kid, man. Super excited. But yeah, now it's time to hit it, man. It's time to get to this Raider news.
Just to reply to that, that's awesome. And it seems like everyone is naturally built to move, to run, to walk, to run, but so inevitably that's where you're going to have the most competition, is doing something that the body is built to do extremely well. So pretty impressive. You're only as good as your competition, and when the competition is great, you're forced to be also pretty excellent.
Yep, I appreciate that, man. And I mean, the kid rightfully so. And even the cooler thing about it, guys, he couldn't wait for practice today. Couldn't wait for practice today.
That's momentum building. Very nice.
It just goes to show you where this kid's head is at. And again, couldn't be more proud, man. The toughness, the grit, especially after basically getting murdered in the 400. He had the worst lane. And then they had the worst lane in the 4x4. So they had the worst lane twice. And yeah, he runs the first leg and he had to run his own in the 8th, which is, if you know track and field, there's nobody in front of you until it's too late, right? If you're running lane 8, you're not going to see anybody till it's too late. So man.
That's interesting, because one of our threads of conversation previous podcast was how do you get in the mindset where you're not reliant upon your competition, your fields to dictate your performance, and be able to separate that from your execution. So lane 8 is perhaps a good way to test that.
100%, 100%, man. And I just told him, man, you got to start learning to, love these situations. That's just really what it boils down to. Teach yourself to love it.
It's an opportunity for sure.
Exactly. And then when you do get that lane, it'll be a breeze, right? When you get lane 4, 5, or 6, it'll be a breeze. So yeah, man, we got a whole lot to talk about. I mean, do you have any area that you want to get started with? Is there something that's on your mind you want to dive into?
Winners and losers from news reports coming out of training camp. That's generally the thing that I'm keeping an eye on, but it's always hard to know what's the truth versus what's an agenda. You kind of have to spend a lot of extra time filtering the information through critical thinking and not just take things at face value.
Yep, I agree. In my opinion, they're still somewhat in booty shorts and tank tops, right? They're playing against each other. It is getting to that point where, right, the tempers are flaring, obviously. You know we're going to have to talk about that. There's a few ways to look at, you know, the quote-unquote fight and scrappiness. I see all the angles. I see a lot of the angles in terms of, you know, what one could draw from that situation. I'm sure we'll get into it for sure tonight. But, you know, might as well start with something hot, you know, that everybody's excited about, right? And that's Mr. Fernando Mendoza getting first team reps. And the real true question as to, you know, how close is the number one overall pick, you know, to really truly being ready, you know, based on, you know, how he's looking out there. What do you think?
Yeah, this is a part of the process, step by step, small building blocks until he finally gets that opportunity to start. But this is the beginning, kind of our first look at him in a starter's kind of role in a practice setting. So perhaps that came a little bit early by design. I know Kirk Cousins and Max Crosby are old vets on the team. They could use a day off, especially coming off of the injuries as they have. So perhaps this little scuffle they had was an opportunistic scuffle by both parties to earn a little bit of rest and recovery, whilst also giving some justified first reps to a player who would otherwise it might ruffle feathers to just give first reps out of the blue.
Right. Yeah, I didn't even think of that particular angle. I thought of it as in the initial that you stated in terms of, hey, these are our superstars, right? Kirk Cousins is a superstar on the offensive side, and you know, Max is Max. So giving them the day off isn't that bad of a situation. I mean, right, for all you know, I do hear all kinds of takes. One coach, right, ex-coach, stated he could see that all being staged, and hey, exactly for those reasons, but also to get the team fired up, right?
Yeah, there's multiple benefits if you spin it the right way. It all depends on how you spin anything. It's only a negative if you make it a negative.
Yep, I agree. So, I mean, for one, I'm excited about it because it does give Kirk a little street cred, if you will, man. Shout out to Kirk Cousins, man. He's you know, kicking ass and taking names later. My man is not trying to hear none of that, you know? And for him to stand up for himself to the man on the team, I mean, it does say a lot, guys. I mean, whether it's staged, whether it's not, right? The fact that he had the confidence to do what he did, and, you know, chip back at him, I mean, it's the best scenario you could have. I mean, that's what you want your leader to do. You don't want your leader tucking his tail, right? Or looking for the coaches to pull him out of a scenario or a situation. So
it's exactly that. They're setting the standard, and it's not just for the players on their own team, but for the rest of the NFL. Like Kirk Cousins is going to come into a game looking to win, and he's not going down getting pushed around, and no freebies.
Yep. No, absolutely right, man. Real quick, we at that point in time, you know. It's Chat Lives Matter, so shout out to Jack Gustase, 4490. What up, Raider Nation? We got LV in the building, L11XV. Yo, Toe, congratulations. Appreciate you, my dude. Hope you guys enjoy the show. We got a Patrick Lechenberger. Hey, I think I got that right. Patrick Lechenberger, right? What's cracking, Mr. Patrick? Appreciate you for coming through. Hope you enjoy the show. We also got my main man, Jack, in the building. What's cracking, Jack? Appreciate you for coming through, man. Hope you enjoy the show. Man, we got people today, man. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to see the Raider Nation coming through and kicking it with us and letting us know what they think as well, man. We got Windy City Raider in the building. Appreciate you for coming through. We got Mark Hawk, 880 in the building. We got Abel TJ, 57 in the building. We got Rob in the building. We got Alvin Johnson in the building. And last but not least, Sully in the building. Appreciate you guys for coming through. Hope you enjoy the show. So, already talked about Cousins. Already talked about Mr. Mendoza. I really will be shocked, no matter what the case may be, if either, if Mendoza gets any run. I'll be shocked if he gets any run in the regular season. And a lot of people are asking, well, what happened to AOC, man? Because right? Obviously, Mendoza got those first team reps, so clearly that had to leave some time for AOC. I didn't hear much noise about him doing anything, or the lack of doing anything, if you will. Right? What do you think that kind of says about his role coming up here?
I think it just says more about the media in general. People are going to fixate on Mendoza. He's the guy everyone expects to be the future. So AOC is kind of just an afterthought at this point, and a backup to Kirk Cousins. And so I believe I had heard quite a bit out of Jesse Merrick's reporting on AOC. He had completed a lot of gunslinger type throws, so maybe more high risk throws, but got the payoff of a bunch of touchdowns. So there was a payoff, but inevitably that's not the style of game that he'll be playing in game. But you never know. Maybe they'll just take the gloves off finally and let him put up the gas on and maybe run the score up like he did that time against San Diego.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, we enjoyed that. I think everybody enjoyed that game. And I'm telling you guys, I'm still a believer, man. I don't know what you're gonna do, man. Probably boo me. I am a huge believer in AOC. I think what's happening to him is par for the course. And I don't think he'd even want it any other way based on his career, right? It's been this way every single step of the way, no matter where he was at, whether it be probably even Pop Warner at this point, right? We all heard about his high school, college career, always fighting and battling. And now here he is, fifth year, I believe. 7 different, that's what it is, 5th year, but 7 different coaching staffs or something along those lines, at least 7 different coordinators. That's a lot of football, ladies and gentlemen. That is a lot of football. And when you get to that point, I mean, there's kind of like not much that can be thrown at you. You know what I mean? Without really having a clue of, knowing what to do in those scenarios and situations. I mean, he's a vet. He's a legitimate vet right now in more ways than, right, just those years with the Raiders. It's actually with the playbook, right? This guy's been on 7 different teams. That's how I'm going to look at it. 7 different teams, 7 different playbooks, 7 different styles. There's not much he hasn't seen. So I'm not giving up on him. It wouldn't shock me at all if these guys actually rallied behind him if necessary, and he got it done. I mean, my thing is, what do we as Raider Nation do if, say, for whatever strange reason, AOC gets the nod or Kirk gets hurt, right? And all of a sudden now he, runs off 3 or 4 solid wins against the teams that we had no business beating. I mean, I would hate to see another Sam Darnold. I know I keep bringing this up, I keep talking about it, but their careers mirror each other, right? I think we all remember the good old, hey, I'm seeing ghosts. He's been dealing with that comment his whole career until he finally wins one. And I'm sure, hey, AOC is tired of hearing about his terrible feet, looking like he's stuck in mud, right? I mean, I can't wait to see how he looks, because I haven't seen anything on him, to be honest. I haven't seen any tape. I specifically have not really kind of, looked at tape. Plus, obviously, I was stuck in Des Moines, Iowa for a whole, 8-9 days. I'm sorry, Des Moines. Whew, it is nothing out there, man. If I ever have to go back to Des Moines, Iowa, it will be too soon. I mean, thank you, Drake University. Y'all have beautiful facilities. I actually got to watch their college team, Drake University Bulldogs. They didn't look bad, They were out there, too, every day. They were definitely getting prepared for the season. And there's nothing like smelling that fresh cut grass and the pads clacking, man. I was right up close and personal. And, it kind of brought me back, But yeah, man, it's football season. I'm excited. Not going back to Des Moines anymore anytime soon. That was the last time the Junior Olympics, I think, will be there for quite some time. Next year it's Houston, and then the year after that, I want to say it's Baltimore or D.C. So shout out to AAU. We got a whole lot of new things we're introducing next year in terms of track and field. We're going to the Nike Invitational. That's Oregon, right? Beautiful stadium. And then we're also doing USATF, which is the more serious, if you will, in terms of specifically track. But yeah, so that was my week/weekend, man, and just getting back to football and talking this talk is exactly what I couldn't wait for. I was like, please, Pigs, be available for Monday, because I don't want to do it alone, but we got a lot to talk about. A lot. So yeah, I'm going to dive right into the next one. That's the running back room. Ashton, Jeanty, and Mike Washington Jr. Could this be our dangerous 1-2 punch? I believe we also just signed a guy from, I think, the Texans, right? As far as a running back. Older running back, so more of a veteran. But what's your thoughts? I'm a little shocked at that, because I don't see the room holding 5 running backs, right? So that means either my guy, Hemby, is gone, right? Or who I obviously expected, Mr. Dylan Lowby, to be gone. And we already discussed last week, the one-up, if you will, that Dylan Lowby has. There's a lot to be said, ladies and gentlemen, of being that guy in the locker room, that is. Especially if you can contribute to special teams where it's necessary. And Dylan Lowby has absolutely done that for himself, 100%. If there's anything I can say that he's great at, is that being a locker room guy and a teammate that people will stick their neck out for just to keep him on the team, man. So what's your thoughts on, hey, Jeanty and Mike Washington Jr., the 1-2 punch, the new signing, and what that running back room is going to look like?
Yeah, I think the running back is a very difficult position to evaluate outside of actual game reps. So the preseason will be huge for these guys in order to determine who's going to be on the roster and who might end up on the practice squad. I do believe, though, that the team already is leaning towards keeping Lowby and not putting him on the practice squad, because another team will just scoop him. We invested draft capital into him, and he has shown some elite skills as far as pass catching and also locker room presence, as you mentioned. So a lot of teams need that kind of player on their roster for special teams and also just for depth of their position group. So inevitably it's going to be Jeanty, Lowby, and Washington as the 3 locks, and then the question marks are around, obviously, Hemby, and it seems like there's quite an interest in getting him on our practice squad, which I think is why there's been an effort to kind of frame him as not reliable carrying the rock. Like these early practices, I don't really put too much stock in. Like a lot of players are kind of rusty, just first day in pads, that kind of thing, and inevitably I think there's been too much emphasis on his ball security. Like a playoff game, that's where your ball security is most important. A first day of practice and pads, maybe not so important. Maybe more useful for media and framing it so that he can end up on the practice roster, which I think it would be very useful because we need depth on that position on the practice roster. So if not him, then who? And you'd rather him than someone else.
Right. And the thing is, though, they also paid him, right? He got paid, which, again, is very rare for an undrafted free agent to get signed that early as far as, pushing out dough, especially if you're going to put him on the practice squad.
Yeah, there's even Kane, the defensive end, Sloan Kane. He might end up on the practice squad too, but that I think is just the inevitability of roster building in the NFL in 2026. Is you have more talent than can fit on a roster for every single team, and the talent just isn't necessarily the ultra high end talent. It's all filling the mid-range and potentially guys that could pop, but you need a year or two of development, maybe teaching the position because they just don't have the experience, or vice versa. So that's where the practice squad is perfect, but inevitably you have to downplay the guy's value so that another team doesn't come by and poach your potential development player.
Correct. So just to give you guys a little bit of some stats, Mr. Dare, I do not know how to pronounce this properly. Dare Ogunbowale? I don't know. Turk is horrible with that.
Is that the tight end?
No, this is the running back. That's a running back.
Okay.
Last season, from the Texans. Last season, he played in all 17 games for the Texans. Saw action on both offense and special teams. Finished the season with 11 carries for 25 yards and a touchdown, as well as 10 receptions for 76 yards. He also recorded 16 total tackles, that's pretty huge, and a fumble recovery on special teams. Second most special teams tackles on the team. 5'10", 205 pounds. Played in 114 games, 9 starts since entering the NFL, man. And, as an undrafted free agent with the Texans in 2017, overall his career, he spent with them. Had some time with the Bucks, Washington, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, this guy is no spring chicken, if you will, from that respect. And he's got the he's not a rookie. He's a vet. He's going to be a good vet from that respect. I'm almost 8 years in the league. So, and I think that's kind of why they brought him in. See, and that's where I'll be honest, right? That room is completely young. Think about it. He's literally the veteran of that room. Everybody else is at most 3 years. Lobby's the veteran outside of him, which is wild. So, and there's a lot to be said for a guy, a veteran in the locker room, and having that guy in each positional room, or positional group, if you will, that people can look up to. And when the bright lights come on, and they need somebody to look at, regardless of what they're playing in terms of amount of time and all that stuff, it matters, man. It really does. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think he's clearly just that. I don't see him getting much time. Maybe again special teams, but that kind of takes away from our young talent in Laube. Although I don't think Laube had anything close to those kind of tackles. I don't even know if he played special teams in terms of right punt, kickoff, any of those things. So that'll be interesting, man. I'm definitely keeping my eye on this running back room because I don't see them carrying 5 running backs. That's just my other thing. I don't see that. I see 4 and somebody on the practice squad, like you say. So we'll have to see how that goes. Yep.
Yeah, a 32-year-old running back is not someone that's part of the future of this roster, and is likely just here to put pressure on everyone else to ensure that they're doing the best job at developing as a running back. Someone who knows what they're doing is able to be a benchmark from which you can compare the young guys against.
Yep. We got one from Jack. Absolutely tough, 100%. Question to each of you and the chat. Not what we are shown. Who do we want on the offensive line? Who Jack wants is Miller, Zoom, Linderbaum, JPJ, and Grant. That's his. And we will talk a little bit more about it. And in fact, you know what? Perfect timing. I'll move it around a little bit, right? We got our little syllabus that I'm trying to keep myself on track with. But yeah, offensive line battles. I'm not mad at that, Jack. I'm not mad at that lineup at all. I mean, I definitely don't. I'm not 100% on DJ Glaze. I'm just not. And I heard he's been not so great in terms of practice, right? Shout out to Cheeto. I know Cheeto's been at some practices. There's been some of our guys, right, that have been able to attend these workouts and these team, drills and so forth. And we've been hearing a lot, and it's not good in terms of DJ Glaze. So I could totally see Grant or even Zoom taking over that right tackle spot, right? Because he's actually somebody that's very intriguing to me. I really hope that he can hit the ground running and play as a rookie. I think he's probably the best rookie we've had at offensive lineman quite some time. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not sold on JPJ being a guard just yet. I'm just not. I don't think last year was well from that respect. And it wouldn't shock me if we got the center from last year and at guard. What's his name again?
Meredith.
Yes. It wouldn't shock me at all. It wouldn't shock me at all if Meredith took that right guard position. But what's your thoughts on that offensive line?
I mean, I think it's pretty clear. My position is I didn't really want to go the veteran route, but we have kind of leaned into that. So with that kind of trajectory, I guess it would be Miller. I don't know, I would prefer to see Rogers and JPJ at guard, and then Linderbaum obviously at center, and then a Grant or Glaze or Zune at right tackle.
Okay.
But the ideal for me would be JPJ at center, right guard like a Rogers, left guard a Zune, and then right tackle a Grant, left tackle a Miller until he gets injured, and then you send Grant to left tackle and right tackle. Glaze steps back in.
Yep. Shout out to Coach sipping Jamba Juice in the building. They're not sold on JPJ being the right guard either. I mean, we all know this. I mean, everybody in here right now pays attention 100% to what's going on, particularly with this offensive line. And yeah, it's definitely not. It's not 100%. There is really no guarantees. I think we're going to actually see a lot of changes, particularly this first preseason game.
And previously, we had talked about JPJ, and you mentioned that you would consider a trade if the value was there. And so
absolutely,
we were kind of in agreement that perhaps the development trajectory just isn't working out here, and there's been too many weird developments along the way to give confidence in future ending up in a positive outcome. And if a second rounder were offered, then that would be pretty much a no-brainer.
That would be huge. There's no way. I don't think he can pass up, right? A second rounder.
And I think it would be justified. Like, JPJ has that upside that a team would be willing to bet on. And we are kind of just at a point with our line that it looks like we've gone a different direction as far as what the ideal lineman looks like.
Yep. And you know what, man? Coach sipping Jamba Juice. I've been sleeping over here, man. I just think it's funny how Buford is the unquestioned starter at left guard. Hey, shout out to Buford. Shout out to Mrs. Buford. Again, I got a chance to meet her and chop it up. Honestly, in my opinion, no news is good news from that scenario. even if he's not the starter, I think he's going to be some pretty solid depth. And he will get reps. Again, I expect to see him this preseason. I expect those guys to play both sides, right?
Yep.
Left and right guard.
Buford is the benchmark that somebody is going to have to surpass if they want that starting job. Like, he's the wily vet that knows the insider information that somebody's going to have to be that much better than in order to take the job from him, which will be a win for us because it means that somebody's earning a job, not just slid into that position because it was open.
Yep, and I think he's hungry, man. I'm not just saying that because he's one of my new favorites. He'll be the first offensive lineman jersey I buy. Shout out to Miss Buford. Yeah, that'll be the first one, man. And I think it has some sentiment, and it might make some things happen for me here. I've done crazier things in terms of buying jerseys and things coming to fruition. So it won't be the first time, and I definitely don't think it'll be the last. But I think he's got a good shot to come in. And that's the other thing. I mean, we're actually potentially with some depth if these guys can really step up and take that position, right? Because now you do have some guys behind that could potentially be starters elsewhere.
Yeah, we spoke at length about Meredith, and everyone knows that he's a really skillful player, just doesn't have the dominating kind of upside that you want starting at a day one, but is the ideal backup because he gives you that solid floor that won't get the quarterback killed, and that's something you need as a piece.
And he rated very high at guard when he was playing guard. That's why nobody understood what Peter Carroll and company decided to do in terms of moving him to center. None of that made sense at all. It just didn't. None of it made sense. But yeah, if he can, correct that in terms of getting back right to where he was, he's easily a starter, in my opinion. I mean, him on the right side, Buford on the left side. I mean, we got Kuhn that I believe can play all positions, including center. I think he's that wild card that may be getting more time than a lot of those guys because he's pluggable, meaning, right, pretty much every spot on the line. So things are starting to turn in the right direction, man. As much as I talk about our offensive line and how garbage it is and how Kirk Cousins is going to be running for his life, that could change quickly, right? It really could change quickly, and I think the depth is potentially there already, right? And if not, come mid-season, those guys might be in good shape, man. Shout out to my brother, my dog, my ex-roommate from college, Mr. Rob Floco. What's good, Crump, my brother? Appreciate you for coming through. Hope you enjoy the show. But yeah, I mean, that's where we're at with that offensive line. Now we got to go to the dreaded wide receiver room.
Jack Kennan just pointed out you were calling Treydan Kuhn.
Oh, Zoom, that's right, Kuhn, I was, yeah. Yep. Thanks for the correction, bro, because I probably still keep saying that all night. But, I mean, look, everyone knows I am not happy with the wide receiver room. I'm not happy with the front office for allowing the wide receiver room to look the way it looks right now. I think there's a reason. Everyone's going to be kind of upset. And the one bright and shining spot that we do have is Mr. Malik Benson, right? I don't know anybody that hasn't talked great in terms of what he's looking like, what they expect out of him, and potentially, immediately just taking that third wide receiver spot. What have you heard on Mr. Benson, as well as your thoughts on the wide receiver room?
I think we obviously don't have a number one wide receiver, and that we were looking to take some dart throws in the wide receiver draft class last year with Thornton and Besh, two bigger body guys that could potentially have a dominating style of play, but they really need to mature quite a bit and develop and add muscle and skill and all this kind of stuff, and that's going to take time. And so continuing to add talent like we did with Malik Benson makes a lot of sense, because when nobody has locked down a starting spot, that's going to allow guys to really put in their all and be rewarded for it if they show out, because those starting spots are open and up for grabs. So a guy like Malik Benson, I think he fell in the draft, I think, primarily for character concerns, not skill or ability.
Right.
Because dude is fast, dude can run
I was
fast.
about to say he's blazer.
He checks a lot of boxes, so I think teams, from what I can tell, were concerned that he didn't stick with one school. He did a lot of jumping around and not really developing bonds or loyalty with maybe a quarterback or a room kind of thing, and that just presents risk. So if he sticks in Las Vegas and develops a fondness for the city, that could be a huge win for us, because those late round picks rarely hit. And so if he was a player that should have went higher, but we gambled on him because of red flags, then that's worth taking that gamble. Like, that's what we should be doing with those picks.
And we got him in what, the 5th round?
I think 7th round or 8th or 6th.
We got him in the 6th round. Okay, yeah. Wow. We got
7th round was Cleveland, I believe.
Wow, that's a steal, actually.
But I really wanted the other character concern guy on Oklahoma. Blanking on his name right now, but the wide receiver from Oklahoma. That was who I wanted.
Yeah. There were a few guys. I mean, there were a lot of guys at second when we picked Mr. Stukes, which I still don't comprehend. We're going to get there, too, because I'm not liking anything I'm hearing. There's a lot of defensive things that I'm just not happy about.
The wide receiver who I was referring to is Deion Burks.
Yes, Burks.
254th overall, which is right at the end to Indianapolis. So that's pretty interesting. Clearly, he was a character concern falling wide receiver.
Yeah, putting him with Danny Dimes, right, and that wide receiving core that they have
could be explosive.
That could be crazy.
So serious value for the 7th round.
I mean, probably one of the best picks of the draft, if you will, from that respect, if it actually pans out.
Yeah, the upside.
Yeah, he could be a definite starter. At least that's the way he played in college. But
yeah, and you love those gambles. Like Antonio Brown was a perfect example of a late round wide receiver gamble who just blew up and heavily rewarded the team that drafted him.
If he wasn't so crazy, man, he could have potentially have been the best to ever do it. I mean, the numbers.
It's hard to respect a lot of the things he did, but from a pure skill standpoint, like, it's pretty undeniable he was operating on another level, like a cut above.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, I would say that guy probably has some of the best feet of all time. Pause. Right, in terms of you go back to his issues of it. What did he have? A chemical burn on the bottom of his feet or something?
Oh, yeah. This freezer burn kind of deal. He's doing some cryo chamber cold therapy and then burnt his feet. But I'm sure it was all just fake, forged nonsense, like something his lawyer told him to do. But
right.
Antonio Brown's issues seem to come from the fact, perhaps, that he didn't develop as a young person to be that superstar. He developed as a guy who flew under the radar his whole career, and so when he was then put in the spotlight, he didn't have necessarily developed skills to handle the spotlight, and so when he got in the spotlight, he was not necessarily the most professional guy.
Yeah, I could
kind of
totally
took bad advice and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I 100% can absolutely agree with that, man. It just, man, we always get the crazies, right? Between
we signed up for it. We knew he was crazy.
Well, we did.
It was so obvious.
It was a gamble.
What was happening.
It was a big time gamble. And that's the thing, man. I heard that we were looking at Stephon Diggs, but
oh really? I could see it maybe in years past, but Stephon Diggs is so old at this point. Like, bringing in old receivers is just not the right move for our team. But
I agree, but he'd be a better number one than what we have.
Yeah, his skill level is definitely a cut above. But It just the timelines are a bit conflicting. But then again, we have this old ass quarterback, so who knows? Like what we're doing really. There's some contradictions at play.
Yep, I know. I agree. I mean, so I take it Naylor is our number one, right? I haven't
Naylor. Yeah, I mean he's definitely the most professional, the guy who's the most reliable, the guy Kirk Cousins will trust the most.
Right.
Crucial moments.
Yep. And
so
then
we got is number one.
Yeah, and then we got my guy Trey Tucker. Shout out to Tucker and family. He's definitely solid number two.
And Tucker, this, like we've said previously, is his season, and he easily has the most upside in terms of being able to gain some momentum early in the season and have that carry through the season. If he establishes that relationship with Kirk Cousins, who's a guy that is a vet, consistency is kind of key for Tucker. If he can reliably make those crucial catches and Kirk Cousins trusts him, he's going to get a lot of looks.
Right. No, I agree. And last but not least, that speed, right? I think he's right. Maybe him and Benson, probably the two fastest. Actually, it's going to be him. I think he's actually even a little bit faster than Benson.
It's Tucker's change of tempo, which I think will be the key for him, because we were never concerned about Tucker's speed, but it's seemingly hard for quarterbacks to hit him. So it's just his ability to speed up and slow down is really what has to be dialed in.
Right. That's a great point that you bring up.
Well, you mentioned that it's like it makes it look like so incredible when you actually hit him with the ball, because it's like a hard thing to do.
And what we thought we saw coming along was him and AOC building that relationship, right? I believe they hit on some long balls. And again, I remember Mr. Adams, he would much rather have gone with AOC than Jimmy.
That rookie year we saw in the preseason, I believe there was a couple of balls to Tucker that made it seem as if those were translatable to the regular season. And so maybe we didn't see a ton in the regular season, but there's those hints early on that you would have liked to investigate or develop further, kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it's still possible. It's still very, very possible. I mean, I hope that Cousins gets out of this old look, if you will. But if he doesn't, I don't know why we wouldn't throw AOC out there. And I think we're going to find out what we need to find out this very first preseason game. I mean, do they play Mendoza? Is he? I mean, I guess they have Mendoza's to, right?
Getting burned.
They have to play him. But does he come off? Is he behind Kirk? Is he before? After AOC?
Yeah, Kirk is going to get probably the one series kind of just show that he showed up and did the starter kind of thing, and then it'll be probably AOC for a full quarter, and then Mendoza a full quarter, and then our last guy for maybe 2 quarters, or a quarter and a half kind of deal.
Well, it is Clint Kubiak too, so I mean, this is his first time being the head coach. Maybe he goes old school. Maybe Cousins plays a whole quarter. I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen. Clearly, this team needs to build together, and they need to figure out what they have too. And it's going to be rough in terms of this quarterback wide receiver room.
What do you think of this Jack Kenna comment? He's speaking specifically on financials around Tucker, because obviously Trey has that potential to pop, but we haven't seen it, so it'd be hard to justify putting up money that would reflect a pop scenario. But
Jack Henna, I wouldn't pay Tucker anything more than $8 million. Next year is to draft a true number 1 wide receiver. I agree with that. I think everybody believes and agrees that we will be drafting a number 1 wide receiver, preferably that dude out of Ohio State. I mean, that's kind of what I want, but and I don't see us being too far down the draft board. I'm sorry to tell you guys. I mean, who has more of a tougher schedule? Maybe 2 teams have more of a tougher schedule than we do. It's going to be damn hard to win 5 games, let alone 4. 5 games, it's going to be tough to win. That puts you right at the top of the list.
If Tucker pops, let's just say he gets 1,000 yards, like 7-8 touchdowns, something like that. on like 70 catches, something like that. That's obviously worth more than $8 million. That would be like
absolutely.
15, 20 mil kind of range.
Absolutely. I mean, he's playing for a contract. Bottom line.
And so if he does pop, do you pay him big bucks? Because like he hasn't really shown the consistency. It would be kind of popping during a contract year. That's always a risky kind of scenario for a team to bet on. You'd prefer to get like another year of consistency to sign a big deal, but inevitably you're kind of forced to make that risk reward bet in that scenario.
Right.
I think Tucker's a professional guy. I'd make that bet personally. But what's your take on that?
No, I was just going to say, Jack put it out there. How many of us wouldn't want Jacoby Myers back? I'm going to be honest with you, man. I was never a Jacoby Myers fan. I thought his ceiling was a decent, maybe low, higher number 2. And not even like a great number 2, not even a good number 2. Just a little above decent. I mean, my problem is he's had every ability or every chance to show that he had solid number 2, let alone, being a number 1. It just never worked for him.
Yeah, a bit of a frustrating player because everything about his personality you loved, and his body type was ideal, like very physical player, could take contact, make tough plays. But the part that killed me as far as not buying into re-signing him, especially for big bucks, is that he was often in positions to make yards after the catch plays and would rarely, if ever, convert on those opportunities. And so let's say he's a 1,000-yard receiver, he's leaving like 500-600 yards on the table. It's just not a very efficient scenario. And so if you're going to be paying a guy, you want to pay a guy who makes good on those extra yards and doesn't leave so much on the table, which he definitely did.
Right. And this is a family show, Jack. It's a family show, man. But yes, FOB 100%. Never played a game for the Raiders, so not a Raider. I can agree with that. It's definitely not once a Raider, always a Raider for him. There are some players that I know people don't like. Man, Randy Moss, right? I know he's high on the list for, being one of the most hated Raiders. But hey, man, once a Raider, always a Raider. I mean, I'm just a fan of his just across the board, period. Right? I mean, he's
Randy.
He's one of the best wide receivers we've ever seen walk the plane. It's hard to pick.
Special athlete for sure.
Bingo.
If you're a fan of football, you're probably a fan of Randy Moss.
You have to be, man. If you're a fan of sports, man, if you go back and see what that man did in high school too, let alone, what he could have done in college, although he had to go the Marshall route.
Yeah, you definitely wish it could have been better with us, but at the same time, you look what our organization was doing. It was very low chance of it working, and if it worked out, it could have been a kind of a miracle. Just things happening despite our effort to undermine them.
Yep. Nope. And I get it, man. That's why I say I know Moss rubbed people the wrong way, and I'm not mad at people that can't stand Randy Moss. Right? I get it. I totally get it.
That was his style. You watch interviews and things about players interacting with him on his own team. Like he definitely was a I don't care what you think kind of personality. I'm going to do it my way, even if it makes you feel uncomfortable. Like I'm doing it my way, regardless. And so that put us in an awkward spot because he wanted his stats with us, and he didn't really care about the team aspect, and that was fair because it didn't seem like we really cared about the team aspect.
Exactly. Like
we're getting mad at a player who's basically reflecting the culture that's broadly our culture. So just an irony, perhaps.
Yep. No, I agree, man. Our front office has a lot of work to do. They really do. It's so annoying at this point because there still are some of the major players there. Hey, and that includes Mark Davis, and y'all know how I feel about Mark Davis. Shout out to Mark Davis, man. I mean, the man basically gave over the keys at this point. I'd be shocked if anyone tried to, hang anything on Mark as far as decisions being made. I think he's completely out of it now. I don't think he's making any of the decisions. I think he is going to defer to the front office, and there's still a lot of those same people in the front office. So we'll have to see who sticks around and who makes it, after this year, because I do think heads roll no matter the case, right? Because we're not going to have a great season. And no matter what, when you don't have a great season, you have to fire somebody at that point. So it'll be interesting to see who's gone and who sticks around, who Kubiak has to let go, right? I mean, I'm already thinking ahead because you guys know I see us at 4.5 wins. And it's more to the 4 than it is to the half and 5. I mean, that 5th game, it'll be luck, and we'll have to be on all cylinders. And that's due to the schedule, man. It's not me, guys. I'm not the only one. There's people that are rooting for us. There are people that, they love us, and they hate that the Raiders aren't where they should be. And they're just speaking the truth on what our record is probably going to be based on the tough schedule. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But yeah, I think Malik Benson is actually going to be one of the bright spots. Even Trey Tucker, man, said that he reminded him of him. And, like both of them being out there at the same time can definitely be some problems. I mean, could you imagine those 2 speedsters and then you got the 2 tight ends, right, in that 12 set? That could be ugly. Naylor, I don't even know if he has speed like that. I'm assuming he's more of a possession slash, great route running receiver that, will get you those first downs on 3rd and short, 3rd and, mid range. I don't see him going deep, if you will, but I could be wrong. He does have the relationship with Kirk Cousins. So it's just, we haven't seen any of that to date, right? I've heard nothing about them 2 connecting during any of these practices. So I find that interesting. I don't know if he's hurt or right. I haven't heard anything on Mr.
Jordan Naylor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe they're purposefully keeping it quiet. Like, a lot of stuff is not really being covered. And that seems to be one of them, is like there's a lot of talk about Benson getting the ball, but it seems like they're kind of forcing the ball to him at the same time. So
right.
Perhaps there's some unnatural stuff happening right now at this point in the season.
Yep. No, very possible. Very possible. So, I mean, that's pretty much all the offense. We've gone through all the positions. Now it's time to hit that defense, man. I'm going straight to the secondary. Treydan Stukes in the new look secondary. Who's making the push for starting snaps? The whole defense is pissing me off right now from what I'm seeing in camp. I mean, you got guys wearing red shirts. That's a defensive player. Right? Like, you got guys taking personal days. Like, I don't know what's going on. But drafting Treydan Stukes, it reminds me of the guy we got last year in the 2nd round that is working out to be a whole pile of nothing. And that's Jack Besh. I don't they can't cut him because of, reasons that you stated earlier in terms of draft position, right? You can't just cut a second rounder. Like, that's not going to go well, no matter how you look at it.
No, if you start doing that, your current draft picks will start wondering what's up. Like, that burns bridges with future kind of scenarios. So the team has to tread very carefully.
Yep.
And how they work with these guys. I think Thornton is probably the bigger concern over Besh. I think Besh is just a bigger body that takes longer to develop, whereas Thornton, I think his issue isn't necessarily developing, it's more process is his issue. Perhaps just getting a professional process that works for him. Like, he has the more skill, the more room for reaching that high potential, but has to develop a process that is in line with achieving that outcome.
Yep.
That's probably not going to happen because generally doesn't for big X receivers. Generally, big X receivers bust. So, odds are stacked against him.
Like I've said a million times, I hope whoever drafted him drinks battery acid.
Which pick did you like less? Besh pick or Thornton pick?
Dang, it's gonna be Besh because wasn't Thornton like 4th round?
4th round, yeah.
Yeah,
But still, he was projected as like a 7th or undrafted.
Correct.
Besh at least was projected as like 3rd, 4th, and with the mid rounds, it's always kind of toss-ups and everything.
But the upside based on the size and the speed.
Yeah, fair.
Right, that's where I would have been, leaning
Yeah, he's
towards.
built like Moss. He's got the Moss frame and speed.
And believe it or not, that's what a lot of our idiot fans were saying. I'm sorry, I decided to say it. I gotta call it, man. We have some idiot fans. I'm sorry. Guys get mad at me, but I'm just that man. The biggest one I've heard that just I can't even take these people serious. I saw a guy on one of his shorts have the nerve to say that Ashton Jeanty has wiggle. So much wiggle that it reminded him of Barry Sanders. Dude, if you've never seen a downhill running back, it is nothing but Ashton Jeanty. He's nothing but a downhill running back. He has no wiggle at all. There's no wiggle in Ashton Jeanty. He's not a stop and go guy. If you can get him stopping and going, you're going to see what you saw last year. Because that's exactly what he had to do. If Barry Sanders was back there, I mean, there wouldn't have been he gets hit behind the line so much. Why? Because Barry Sanders is a wiggler. He's dodging and diving. He's making everybody miss in the phone booth. That is not Ashton Jeanty, guys. And that's what our fans are saying. I mean, let alone the whole generational talent. I just can't take these people serious, man. I just can't. So I digress. We're not on offense. We're on defense. Treydan Stukes, man. I'm sick. I think he turns out to be Jack Besh. It's a wasted pick. You know what I mean? I get it. I know what they were looking for and looking to get, but I think they just picked him too soon. He could have been available, like you said, when it came to Besh, 3rd or 4th round. I don't see anybody that was gunning for Treydan Stukes. And hey, I could be wrong, and hopefully this young man proves me completely incorrect, right? And that's the one other thing, ladies and gentlemen. I absolutely want to be completely incorrect on all of these guys that I just don't see working out. I would want nothing but to have everybody come back here and have to see me bring myself to the front of the congregation, because otherwise the alternative is what you've been seeing for the last 20 plus years. And I just don't see it. I did see Coach had a question. He says, what do you think of Masses? Hezekiah Masses. I think the kid is gunning for a starting position. That's what I think. And I'm pretty sure it's safety, right? I think he's a safety. I don't think he's a corner.
He's corner.
He is a corner. Okay, well.
He's just been described as like a very long, rangy corner, which perhaps makes it possible he could play safety as well, especially on like those end of the, like a Hail Mary scenarios with that extra length.
I think the kid is kicking up dust. Even Trey Tucker was like, yo, who is 35? You're like, and then he said, right, once he actually got out there against him too, because he was draping everybody. He was just draped over everybody. Nobody could get open on Mr. Masses. So that could very well be the bright spot, if not one of the biggest bright spots in that secondary. I'm pulling for Porter too, man. I want Porter to bring himself up to speed. I like to see him get way more playing time and be productive. Again, we're going to need depth everywhere. I believe Porter could be that guy that might be able to, right? Again, long, speedy, and maybe he can, fill in on those, 3rd and longs or what have you, and when we may not need 2 safeties, right? Depends on what whatever it is this defense is calling. But I could see him working out. I'm not so sure about Richardson, right? I haven't heard much positive coming from him.
Okay, Cam.
Yeah, the Cameron Richardson. Although, again, guys, I'd love to, we have depth problems, meaning, hey, we got a lot of guys. And it's very possible that the secondary could start to look a little thick, if you will, because as Coach just hit on the head, man, Jermod McCoy very well could be the steal of the draft for us, period. Right? The reason he dropped to where we got him was due to the injury, and he's looking good. Right?
Gerard McCoy?
Yes.
Yeah, they're just saying that he hasn't gotten the same burn as some of the other players, but yeah, that upside is pretty real.
The upside is there. The depth, right, that we'll be needing could be there. It's going to be interesting, man. It is going to be interesting. The secondary is finally starting to look like something. And that's been one of the rooms that have hurt the most, if you will, in the past few years. Haven't been able to get it done. Yeah, go ahead.
Hezekiah Massis, just to speak on that question from Coach Jamba Juice, the interesting part with him is that he's a late round pick, but obviously fell. Like a lot of our late round picks, Malik Benson and Hezekiah Massis, I don't think they fell for their skill, but rather character concerns. There's whether he was putting his full effort in on plays such as physical plays. That was mentioned today during his presser. Narrative that he had in college that he wasn't putting his all into plays, and that he made a purposeful point to stomp that narrative out here in camp, and that's kind of why he's stood out, is because I think he is putting in extra effort in order to ensure that narrative doesn't develop and follow him into his professional career. So these guys who fell in the draft, they fell for a reason, and they know why they fell, and they're probably making a very conscious effort to turn it around and flip the narrative. And it's working out for them so far. Like Hezekiah Massis, I think, has really impressed a lot of people, perhaps even himself. Like his level of physicality is probably. He probably didn't lean into his physicality before, so he didn't know what he had. And now that he's untapping it, it's probably exciting as a player to know that he has more tools in the tool bag.
Right. My only fear is his current competition. I mean. We probably have one of the poorest wide receiver rooms in the league, right? I'm just going to keep it honest.
Yeah, but as you said, 4.2 speed is 4.2 speed.
Yes.
Orton's going to test his speed, and Besh is going to test his physicality. So
that's true.
As far as traits, exploiting traits, you got the speed and you got the physicality to push our DBs to show what they can do against those extremes.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right, man. Shout out to
the craftiness and what have you, or the skill, but they've got the physicality and the speed.
Yep. We got Steve Jones in the building. What up, Turf? Who will be our kick punt returner? Who is our Taiwan Jones? That's a great question. Right now, it looks like who... Do we still have McAllister on the squad? I think we talked about him too. I haven't heard anything about him.
Yeah, it seems like Malik Benson is probably getting the most looks.
Is he as kick returner?
Yeah, or Labe, so it's probably going to go to one of those two.
Right. I would be so nervous with Labe being a freaking punt returner. Kick returner, I'm okay with. But Labe as a punt returner? I'm not feeling that.
Fumbles on the table every time.
He's still got to redeem himself, in my opinion. I just do not trust the kid. That's the honest truth. I mean, look, man, that's the number one rule as a running back. And I tell the story all the time. It's part of the reason why I didn't get as much burn, and rightfully so from that respect. You can't cough up the ball, man. You just can't. Laube was like 2 for 3. Like, right? It was really, really bad. And And it didn't make any sense. We can't see pigs, just FYI.
Oh.
But again, he's the rocker guy. I'm gonna leave it at that, man. And that's the reason why it's no longer a shock to me him making the team, especially because of special teams. So, but yeah, him being a punt returner, I would much rather Trey Tucker. 100%. I mean, Trey actually showed that he was a decent punt returner. And in solid hands, right? Didn't have to worry about the ball being turned over. That's where I'm at with it. I'm very terrified of Laube at the punt returner. So, and like you said, Malik Benson, that's another one. I mean, we got guys that can do it.
Even McCoy is another guy that does the potential to have big plays. So I don't think kick return is really a big concern. It's just if you have kick return in your bag, you're probably getting a consideration boost over someone who doesn't. Just that's simple, but not a major concern.
Right. So we got about 15, 20 minutes max here. As y'all know, Turf's got to go get his wassa on, right? My jiu-jitsu. But Malcolm Kuntz, Quay Walker in the front seven. Is this defense beginning to develop an identity? I'm pissed that people are out with red shirts on defense. I'm sorry. We are soft as Sherman and have been in a lot of ways.
Who's wearing a red shirt?
I want to say, who was it that was sitting out?
Quiddy Payne? That's the only guy who has an injury.
He was sitting out. Someone else was sitting out. I want to say, or maybe this was another time, but I'm pretty sure I remember one of our linebackers, I think he's taking a PTO, like second day in practice. The kid from Ohio State.
Oh, Eichenberg.
The Eichenberg, yeah. I mean, and of all people, Eichenberg. Come on, man.
If he has something, it's probably a tweaked muscle strain. They just don't want to risk further injury.
Man,
I think this staff is playing it safe on a lot of the injury stuff, and that reflects in the fact that we have like the least injuries in the league right now from training camp progress.
Yeah, I personally think though it could backfire. I'm a firm believer. I'm old school, man, and I mean it's just what it is. I'm never going to change.
And I don't think there is a right answer, really.
Right.
It works depending on the team. It could work or not work. Just kind of random.
I just don't know many teams that play it soft. You know what I'm saying, in the preseason, et cetera, and then all of a sudden now think that they're going to start clacking these pads, better than ever come game 1, week 1. I think that happens the day that camp opens. I think that's where you find out where your dogs are and where you build that toughness. That's the thing I don't think people understand. Like, the injuries come because you're not in the weight room, because you're not going full speed. You're not giving it 100%. Like you said, just being, careful on injuries. I think that's how you get hurt. Plain and simple. I've never ever been in a play where I was going full speed and got hurt. It's always been when I was half-assing or, right, just something I had no business doing and not just going balls to the walls, just point blank. That's how it's been for me, for a lot of guys in my career that I've seen and been around. You get hurt when you're out there, playing in grass, man. That's really what it boils down to. And I think that over time, right, you build a callus, right? That's why come week 6, 7, and 8, teams start cooking, right? Because that callus is pretty strong. It's pretty thick. And if you didn't build that pre-camp, and right in camp, and you're starting that week 1, you might not get that toughness till, end of the year. And it may be way too late, and you may have way too many injuries too on top of that way too late. So, I mean, it's like you said, though. That's a philosophy that every team is different on. I'll tell you this. I bet you Bill Belichick had them boys clacking. I bet you there was no days off with Bill Belichick. I can guarantee you that. I bet you everybody was giving it 100% every play, every down. You don't win 7 chips without it. I mean, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think Brady has spoken on it. Probably the vets and what have you could get away with perhaps doing stuff on their own time, like the Randy Mosses of the world. But yeah, your average player on the roster was doing it Bill Belichick's way.
100%. So I'm not happy with that in terms of what I'm seeing. I think our front 7 might be a little soft, particularly on the line, man. I expect our linebackers to be one of the best linebacking groups, potentially of all time, for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, it's exciting. They're definitely going to have the most modern edge. Our recent linebackers haven't been very dominating or nasty or even really like outside of Bob Spillane, there hasn't really been anyone who like plays at a Pro Bowl level in recent memory. So yeah, Bob is the one guy.
Yep. And I mean, one guy I'm excited about on that linebacking group that I don't know if a lot of people have been paying attention. Bro, shout out to that Gopher guy, Cody Lindenberg. Dude, I mean, when you got the starting linebackers that you know are starting, and Nakobe Dean and his right hand man telling you this kid is something.
Oh, they like him, eh?
They love Cody Lindenberg.
Okay, nice. That's a good sign.
It's a great sign. In fact, shameless plug, I do have a quick short on, I believe it's Nakobe Dean giving Cody Lindenberg his props, man. And again, that's somebody I saw firsthand in college, and I'm telling you right now, that kid was around the ball every play. Didn't matter what it was, pass play, run play. The kid can move. He's on the smaller side, obviously, right at 6'2", 230. So you're really definitely looking at that outside linebacker, position, if you will. But the way they talked about him, man, don't be surprised if he's starting some games. You know what I mean? That's them talking about him. That's not me. That's the locker room. So
yeah, that's probably one thing we can definitely close out the show as far as covering before while we still have the opportunity is how much emphasis there is on like leadership and communication this year, because that seems to be a big talking point amongst players and staff is guys feeling not just the pressure to be a leader, but basically that's a part of what it means to be a football player. Like it's just normalizing it.
Yes.
Basically, like it's not even something that you should aspire to do. It's just what you do as a football player is you be a leader.
Should be second nature. Every last one of them in that locker room, all 53 guys, should naturally be a leader. Period.
So they've definitely tried to normalize that this season.
They are. I mean, look, I give Kubiak credit. The only thing that I would say rubbed me the wrong way was the whole earn your shield shenanigans. That was corny.
Experimental, perhaps. Maybe we won't do it again.
That was corny as hell to me. You know what I mean? Max really is gonna have to earn the shield. Like, you know what I mean? And that's why it's so corny to me, because everyone knows.
Is it a fine line then between doing things with intentionality, which was the purpose, obviously, why he was doing that, versus coming off as insincere or inauthentic? It's because you're kind of riding that line of trying to make a point of doing something, but not just making it look ceremonial, but rather have actual tangible results from it.
Yep.
It's, I think probably the suspension of Kirk and Max was more effective.
Yes.
Even though that could be argued as corny or fake, it's probably still having more impact or weight than, say, the earn your shield kind of stick.
No, it absolutely is, man, because it's setting the tone, right? And that's the other thing. you want your guys out there battling, and you want them with a chip on their shoulder. But at the same time, like you just said, leaders don't get penalties, right? Leaders play the game right.
Yeah, you got to keep your head in the game, basically.
100%. You know, no 15-yard penalties that can cost you the game, right? It's literally the league of inches. So, again, that's why I say I like what Kubiak is doing. There's some things that I like, but there are also some things that I don't like. Again, I'm not a fan of, if, you know, it's true that they're holding these guys out and being all cautious. All you're doing is getting them ready to get hurt earlier. That's just my opinion. Holding these guys out now, not building that callus that you absolutely need for the season, it's not going to be beneficial. It's going to be more detrimental, in my opinion.
I kind of get the sense that callus is something that Kubiak probably recognizes based on previous experiences in teams, but he probably sees it more that comes from the fire you experience in going against other teams in shared practices as well as in preseason games. He's probably very conscientious of the fact that if players get hurt whilst playing against each other, i.e. the Malcolm Kuntz situation, that could have detrimental effects that go well beyond just the player being injured. Perhaps the culture of the team is hurt by that.
Right.
Because we still don't know the details of like how Malcolm Kuntz was injured. It might have been the case, like just hypothetically speculating, someone did something they weren't supposed to do.
Right.
And it cost him an injury, but maybe it was just a nothing play, maybe it was a something play, but in any event, something.
Two words. I can give you 2 words on that situation. It could have been stay up, and somebody didn't, and that's a knee, right? Stay up. You know, keep pad levels high. You know, stay up, stay off the ground, right?
Got to play smart for the health of your team.
And somebody probably didn't do that. It's possible, right?
It's within possibility. But then that goes to show that it's very important for coaches to be extremely intentional in designing their culture around training and player development.
Absolutely.
Keeping guys kind of focused on what the values are.
I wish I would have, recalled or knew better in terms of Clint Sr. and how he ran his teams. I think you're going to get a little bit of that from his son, right? Just because, right? I mean, monkey see,
that's
monkey do.
That's what he was exposed to. Yeah,
exactly.
Natural exposure.
And I think it worked, right? I think his daddy's got a Super Bowl or 2. I know he's got 1.
Tried, tested, and proven is a good benchmark.
Bingo. So, hey, and then he's got to put his own little secret sauce on it, right? He's got to put his stamp on it. So, I'm definitely giving him leeway. Unless he does something outrageous, I see him getting a minimum of 3 years.
We never talked about it, but I guess because other people talked about it, maybe it's worth mentioning. What did you think of his turd comment?
Oh, jeez.
So many people were talking about that. I couldn't figure out what they were talking about at first.
Yes.
And I listened to the presser, but I didn't catch it the first time. I had to go back and listen the second time to actually catch it.
As I stated, he's not doing everything that I like. I mean, I don't want my coach talking about turds.
That was too corny. Too corny.
Again, right? And that's the thing. We know we probably have a lot of them,
but
right?
He could have used an explicit, but I guess it was like a compromise.
He's got to figure it out, right? Hey, part of being a head coach is having that ability to speak. That's just that.
I recognize that he wanted to throw shade without like being basically like a toxic, rude leader. He wanted to do it professionally, but while still making a point that he didn't condone basically the style of leadership that was there before him. He was calling them turds because basically like shitheads, but without saying that.
Correct. No, absolutely. A lot of coaches, right, have their terms, right? Shout out to Coach JB, right? Slap dick.
Just it's relevant. I think the turds were Pete Carroll's sons, by the way.
Yes.
Terrible.
Right? Exactly.
So I think it was well earned.
100%.
The title.
And every coach has their go-tos, right? Because, man, let's be real. If you've ever played on the football team, you'd be lying through your teeth if you didn't play with quite a few dudes with screws loose. Guys that couldn't remember a playbook if you put it in their face. Like, there's just, right? We've all played with that talented kid that had to be told what to do, you know, literally every play.
Yeah, compromise is part of life. That's the game of life, is finding the levers and getting the right kind of trade-offs.
Exactly right, man. So, I mean, I'm glad you brought up the whole Kubiak thing, man, because that, you know, it's what we're going to have to hang our hat on, and that has to become the foundation this year. And at least that needs to stay and be consistent, right? You know, and he's laying down the law, right? He's, no matter how you see the fight and the repercussions of it, everyone now knows the standard of if there's ever another fight. We already know exactly what's going to happen, and it won't matter who it is. So as long as he continues to do that, stay consistent, and build from there, like I said, you will not hear me saying, you know, let's get him out of here. I don't care if he doesn't win a single game this year. That's not going to be my goal or my, you know, tape measuring on him in terms of, you know, keeping his job or not. I mean, everybody should be tired of a new coach, man. Everybody. I mean, it's exhausting, right? Isn't this exhausting? I mean, it is bad, man. I just want to see anything stick around for 5 years. Anything at this point, so.
Yeah, for me, it gets more primitive than that. I'm frustrated that I feel like my time gets wasted. Like, when I have an expectation that something should be a certain way and it's totally the opposite, it's very, like, irritating. So
yeah,
that's got to stop.
Well said, man. Well said. And with that, man, I guess, yeah, we can start to get on up out of here. I mean, the last thing we definitely should discuss is what's your thoughts for the preseason game? What do you see? What do you see happening? You know,
yeah, for the preseason game, I just want to see guys stay healthy. Our starters, you know, do their one series, kind of just token showing up. And guys like O'Connell, I want to see them play free and loose and be a true gunslinger and not hold back, lay it all out on the line.
Run that offense, yeah.
Those people in that position.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, man. After seeing Carson back, I don't know what we're in for. I don't know how long they kept him in that game. I think that he played like quite a bit of that game.
But that is a unique game, the Hall of Fame game. It feels more like an entertainment product for the whole NFL body. Like,
right.
Respect for everyone that played the game before.
But
maybe
man,
they have different traditions.
That kid looked amazing to me.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be real.
It was entertaining.
I dogged him quite a bit, right? I did not like Carson back in college, no matter where he was, Georgia, Miami, none of that.
I liked him when he was throwing to Brock Bowers. After that, I did not care for it. Like, everything outside of that,
yeah, but you know, I think we lose only because, right, it's our first preseason game, and then again, I think the kid's gonna have another performance. Our secondary is green. They are going to pay. That's just the harsh reality. I don't think we keep our starters in the secondary out there. And even the starters we have outside of Stokes and Johnson, right? Those two guys are the only real shoo-ins, if you will, in terms of starters and actually have that ability. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get beat up a little bit.
Who's the player you're most looking forward to see in a jersey? Just in terms of like feeling satisfied?
Well, you know what? Honestly, because of the so much buzz, it's Malik Benson.
Oh, really?
It really is.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see what they do with him, right? Because I think he's going to be a guy that plays everything, right? I think you'll see him at the 1, the 2, the 3, catching returns, maybe even kickoffs, maybe even in special teams, right? I think you will see him all over the place. So I definitely got my eyes on him. And McCoy, Jermont McCoy, man. Shout out to him.
For me, I would say McCoy is the person who, seeing him, just his nameplate on the jersey. It's weird, we didn't really hear any mention of Nnamdi Asomugha. Like, for Hezekiah Massis, he
Right.
comes from the same school. I thought it was a bit odd that he didn't get a shout out because like we have two of these rookies that are ultra high end, potentially all pro kind of level players. So
Yes.
I don't know. Would have been nice to shout him out.
No, I agree. That's a good touch too if they would have, but you know, I guess they'll say they can't think of everything, but that's probably what, top 3 all-time Raider. Nazi.
Yeah.
In terms of the secondary, like, I mean, only other people I really honestly think about is Jack Tatum and obviously Woodson.
He's
and
somebody.
Yeah.
He's somebody who played or embodied excellence even in the face of chaos, which
Yeah.
I think you respect even outside of just sports. Just like that is an admirable kind of situation when things are crumbling around you and you're still able to maintain a level of discipline and focus and all that.
Yep. I agree, man. Well, it was awesome as always, my dude. I appreciate you for showing up, not at your best. So I'll take care of that voice and man, we'll be back at it next week. Definitely discussing this playoff game, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And keeping this thing moving, getting ready for the season. So till the next time, ladies and gentlemen, Turf and Pigs is out. Peace.